Welcome to the SAS, a sports argument show. I am Liam Gianelli, alongside my partners Jacob Grimman and Evan Cooper-Smith.
Hi.
Do you guys think that NBA super teams should be allowed in the NBA?
Me, personally, I think NBA super teams are ridiculous. I honestly think it's ruining the NBA. Honestly, like, for example, you start with the Golden State Warriors, for example. I mean, you got Golden State being in the final 3 years in a row. Same with the Cavaliers, finals 3 years in a row. And I think it's just like unfair to other teams in the NBA. It's not giving all the teams a fighting chance at the playoffs.
All right, Jacob, Evan?
I think that super teams are very beneficial because when a team picks all the right players and they draft all the right guys and they reach that point where they're that good, they're making to the finals every single year, they deserve it. And then if a team is so good that they're referred to as a super team, if another team ends up beating them, it's so much more exciting because it's an upset. And that helps with ticket sales, it helps with the number of watchers on TV, and it's just beneficial for everyone. And super teams players or jerseys are selling nationwide, not just in that city. So overall, for the NBA as a business, super teams are very beneficial.
Yeah, but think about it. Let's compare it to like the NHL. NHL, for example, you have trade deadlines and you're always all the star players are always moving around. So you never really get a super team. And compare the NHL playoffs to the NBA playoffs. The NHL playoffs is so much more exciting because every team has a fighting chance. Every team has a chance to win a cup. It's becoming, because of these super teams, NBA playoffs are becoming almost predictable. Like, it's almost too easy to predict, in my opinion.
Yes, but every single year the players get older, guys retire, new guys come in, so you never know who the next super team is gonna be.
Yeah, but there's always a super team. It's always one team that always makes it to the final, makes it far into the playoffs every year.
That's not necessarily true because of teams like the Celtics who looked like they were gonna get swept by the Cavs, but then they won a game there. You never know what's gonna happen.
But that's like you don't see that a lot very often, especially nowadays. I mean, like, for God's sakes, the Cavaliers and the Warriors were in the finals 3 years in a row. How many times does that happen? Not very often.
Well, before we get physical and break the set, let's move on to the next topic. How do you feel with the one and done rule? What's your feelings about it, Evan?
I think the one and done rule is ridiculous, honestly, because to require a high school freak athlete to go to college, I don't have anything against. But to allow him to leave after just 1 year, I think that's the problem. Because then he has to go through all the hassle of going to college. You gotta pay a lot of money to go to college. And if the only point of being there is just to get done with that year and make it to the NBA, what's the point? I think it should you should have the option of going straight from high school to the NBA and not having to worry about spending all that money on college tuition, or you should have to go for 2 years, because then with just 1 year of college, if you want to go back to school to get your degree, you still have 3 more years. If you go for 2 years, then go to the NBA, if you want to get your degree, you have 2 years of study, and so that's a little bit less. And then if you don't want to go to college at all, that's also an option. So I think that would be better.
But here's what I think. I recently saw a documentary talking about John Calipari and how he is kind of, been using more and more and revolutionizing the one and done rule. And he talked about, and he made a very good point, and I really took this to heart. He said, when it comes to college is not necessarily only, why do you get an education in college? You get an education in college so you can get a job.
Which is my point. These guys aren't there to get a job. They're there to be in the NBA.
Exactly. So what he did, how he would take these guys for 1 year and send them right to the NBA, is to prepare them for the NBA. That's what I think the one and done rule. That's the point of the one and done rule, is to basically prepare the guys for the NBA and send them off. Like when you go to college and you get an education, it's preparing you to go into the real world.
But regarding their basketball skills, they're ready for the NBA, I think.
All right, let's close it out. That was the SAS Sports Argument Show with my partners Jacob Grimman, Evan Cooper-Smith, and Liam Gianelli, signing out.